Intuitive discussions, intuitive discussions, energy, flow, creativity, being at higher frequency than right now. As you're walking in the door and you get to play with the Fresh Inspiration Show, and we're partnering with you and also Maureen Xavier. We are going to really play with this. In these times, we need each other, but the need is something I want to stir around. And it's not this feeling like I have to or that, oh, I need it. It's more like I get to play. This right now for the month of December is about realizing the stress in life. So we got the reality. That reality in waking up and having a task list and doing the task list and going through exactly what you want to get through, then you become robotic. Maureen Xavier here today is with us so that you see reality. You're not putting it under the carpet and trying to pretend it's not there. We want to bring in story about where you may be at right now. And I want you to bring that in and let yourself breathe and be and allow the Fresh Inspiration Show partnering with Maureen Xavier so that you can say, yes, I got this. Yes, I got this. I can handle this. This is fun. Now I know it's this or that, but this is fun. Every day, let's scrumptiously be able to create something for you with 3:00 Mondays in this 6-week series. Welcome in Maureen Xavier to your intuitive discussion I'm excited about. How are you doing, Maureen? How was your day? And are you excited to be spending time in this intuitive discussion today? I'd love to hear how you're feeling and how you're showing up today.
I've had an amazing day. As I was driving around today, I'm out in the world. I may be an outlier, but I've been being out in the world doing my thing, doing my Christmas errands, exercising. And I literally was thinking this morning, I am living the life that I've always dreamed. And included in that is this. And that's not to say I haven't been feeling discomfort. I haven't been feeling energetic compression. I haven't been not having things go right. Right, what's right anyway? But I've been having an amazing day.
Maureen, but I feel the same way. Today I started in a flow that felt a little funky. Sometimes Mondays to me, it feels like that. Then I think about, wait, I am living a life that when I was 4 years old, I was questioning these things. And now I get to be with you. I'm living a life that is something that some people dream of. They're working on living and waking up and being in reality, but really bringing it up a frequency. Can you share more about maybe a story or connection with what that means for you in a day of Maureen Xavier and doing intuitive discussions and being there for your clients?
That's a really big question. I don't know where to go with that. Can we tune it in a little bit more specifically so I can, deliver on one thing?
That's okay, yeah. Maureen, what has been happening for you over the past week since we have been together since last Monday after your first focus in of 6 of the 6-week series? What's been going on for you these past 7 days since last time we saw you?
So first of all, I was so excited to hear to watch back our interview because I felt it was so powerful and provocative and impactful. It was an expression of me as a person as well as interlacing lots of golden nuggets that people that may not be living in transformation as I do, that they could literally like open up to a possibility. I've also had my first, I've been in business for 3 years, but I've never actually delivered an email to my email list. So the fact that I first ever email to my email list was like, woohoo! So that was a benchmark for me. I've also been consciously more in receiving mode, more in allowing mode, more in I get to be the one that served, not to say I'm not also serving others, but I've been in overgiving mode at some level. And so it's been time for me to allow myself to be here and serve my clients and pay attention to the energy and sit down and read a book and just literally moment to moment pay attention to the energy even more than I was before.
Maureen, it sounds like you are being your best VIP client.
Mm-hmm.
What's that feeling? Because I know this is going to serve the community, Maureen. What's it feeling like when you feel like you've been giving and giving and you're realizing, oh, I need to make sure this is a full circle that I'm giving to myself, and that's how I lift and be able to help guide people. So what's that feeling when we're over giving? What is that?
So I've been feeling energetically burnt out. I feel drained. About a month, 4 weeks ago, I was feeling an energetic wall about continuing. I was the thought of and I love my teachers and I respect my teachers and I honor my teachers, but doing the follow-up, more sales calls, more of getting with people, setting up more connects. Part of me felt like I wanted to throw up. So it's kind of like it's literally those are tools, and it just wasn't the right time for me to be acting on those ways to build my business that I know are important. So for me, timing, so that's the one thing. Also, what's been is I've 2021 is right around the corner. We start hearing about planning for 2021, group programs. How are you going to make your next year? So I've been living in the question of what is mine to do. And I've been also having doubt, second guessing myself, having a little bit of self-doubt.
Right.
And that's required and allowed me to be even more present, ask deeper questions, and to really trust that when it's time I will know. And I've also gotten information from spirit. I keep in the what is mine to do question, which is something I'm in more consciously and deeper than I have been for a while. Last time I was here was really like the Black Lives Movement came up. What is mine to do here? Committed to the stand and the purpose and the movement, but what is mine to do? So this is like the next wave of what is mine in 2021 to do? Because I believe I live fundamentally a different life in some ways than other people do. And what's my unique gift? So back to your question, what I have felt like is Hmm. I literally, nothing motivated me. No program. My coaches, my teachers, go do this, start this. I have had conversations with one of my coaches. Well, I'm going to start a new program at the end of January, start a new program at the end of February. I haven't felt motivated by any of that stuff. So the
All
fact
right.
been motivated by it to me is a sign. I know enough to know if there's not an energy and a momentum moving forward, it's not going to work anyway. So I'm not going to waste my time there.
So
So
Maureen,
that's,
Simone is here. A beautiful spiritual being. She loves stuff like this, Maureen. I'm so happy you're here, Simone. Okay, Maureen, I am like, I know exactly what you're saying. I can feel it. I got the chills. The When we use our brain, and tell me, Fresh Inspiration Show, Mindset Transformation Community, when we're in the brain, we have stuff we should be doing. I mean, tell me, is that really motivation? Is that real? Do I want to really be fire hosed upon somebody? Meaning you have programs you want to do because you want to get out there to the beings, but the stepping on the exterior part of task one, task two, like robotic. But the feeling to me is the exciting part of where you are, and being tired means that's not the path. So you're serving big here, Maureen, because you are being your best VIP client. Sales is not sales anymore, huh? Like when we start talking about I'm tired, it's like, but why are you? Because you're loving what you're doing. Because it's like we're talking about being able to be the people that are wanting to be around us. And what the block is that somebody's saying you need to go out there and do sales, and you need to say, do these steps exactly so you can get going. So tell me, I have a question for you. So we can, I think this is really serving the community too, Maureen. And sometimes we know that we can write a task list, but the way that you work is in spirit. And like, where's the juice? Where does that bring you? So my question is, what would you say as you're with somebody and you're with the Fresh Inspiration Show, as you're with somebody and they want to get something done, would you have them get a piece of paper and write it down? Or what would that look like if you said, I want to be in spirit and I want you to feel inspired 100%, and let's go in. Some people call it the back door when they're in their mental space. But when you want to create something, you want to connect with people, there's usually energy towards something. Conversation I want with people because I find them to be so exciting. I need to pick up the phone. I need to talk to them. Oh my gosh, I somebody's coming to my mind and I need to connect with them. Isn't that how we're supposed to be working? Does that make sense?
the fact you
I can
described
keep
it as
going.
supposed to is one of those literal programmings that you have. That's one of these things that's literally in our DNA. So when you say, is that the way we're supposed to? No. We are all unique individuals exactly as we are, and how each one of us how we're meant to work is unique to us. And part of the supposed to is programming that a lot of people may not even realize. So aside from that, paying attention to what wants to happen, being willing to be in silence. And back to where you were earlier, sometimes being in silence scares people. So me personally, and a lot of people I've worked with over the years, meditation has been something that they have avoided. It hasn't been comfortable, and on and on and on and on. So, wherever you are on the path of stillness is exactly where you are meant to be. And I want people to really take that in. Wherever you are right now is exactly where you are meant to be. So I'd say the first thing to anyone who's curious, open, wanting to live an inspired life and be inspired in your service is to be aware of where you are now. Mm-hmm. And accept whatever it is that you become aware of. So, for example, for me, I haven't wanted to do my follow-up calls after my conversations with spirit events. There's the list of things to do. There's the successful way of going out and building your business. I first was conscious of my energy. I gave myself space to ask what the purpose of the conversations would be, what the purpose of the sales calls would be.
Love it.
Reaching out to. I also asked myself the question, if there were no shoulds, shouldn'ts, have tos, or musts, what might I do now? Because that to me is one of those foolproof ways that you can get out of your head if you're willing to go there. If you're really willing to be with that question and know that there is no right or wrong answer to that question, and whatever you become aware of is a free choice, then you have options available to you. And all of those things are big ifs, right?
Yeah.
I was with my teacher last week. Never mind, I don't need to talk about this now. Not good timing.
Oh, Maureen, can I talk? I'm so excited. You're going down such a fun area. Okay, so Seema, Gary just came by. Simone, these are entrepreneurs coming by, and these discussions are what we are always talking about, like follow up and all this stuff. You brought up being with, well, so and so came. What do I feel like? Where is my connection with them? Oh, I'm so excited to talk to them. What they get out of being with me for 15 minutes, or maybe they were there for a full hour. Is there some reason that they stayed? Oh my gosh, the excitement of knowing I get to connect with them. That's so different. And that is what I believe is what Spirit is saying here. It's not, again, and I do want to use the word not, it's not the old school point A through Z, I need to do this. Oh, that paper, flat. There's no play with it, but you can pull it up and lift it and start asking, wow, okay, it says I want to call them. No, I don't. Yeah, I do, because I want to hear their voice. I want to hear what they have going on. They may not want to work with me because this is sales calls, but over conversation, because of the way I approach it, we get to have some wonderful, maybe a new client, somebody that I get to help. It feels so different. It feels so playful and fun. Let's do that instead. How does that mean? Like, what do you think, Maureen? Am I getting to our community? How do you feel about starting to? I mean, like, I'm getting miscombobulated here because I'm just so excited. Maureen thinks I'm crazy. She sees the beautiful smile on my face sometimes. She's like, "You are beaming." But Maureen? Am I truly in spirit really making sense? Because I don't know how else to live.
Well, the fact that you're excited about it is a sign that it's exactly what's meant to happen right now. You are being fueled by energy and excitement. And if you're alive, if you're looking at the camera and laughing out the loud and being like, woohoo, that's a sign. So when we can be in that, that's a sign. That is our connection to the natural essence of who we are. And giving ourselves permission, firstly, like permission to live out loud, to be too much, to have fun, to know that you can literally have fun and play and have a business at the same time. That's what I so am inspired about with you, because you talk about play. Honestly, playing has been threatening to me. Like the energy of play in my life has been something I've been working with for over a decade, to be able to, have the energy of playfulness.
Yeah.
I've got lots of limited identities, lots of limited stories, lots of traumatic events from my childhood and prior life stuff that came with me. That, I chose this family for a reason. That's been threatening. The play has not appeared safe or a good idea. So I've been flirting with it. I've been going up, there's something called the emotional tone scale. I don't have it memorized, but there's, sadness, anger, blah, 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 blah. And it's unrealistic if, on the emotional tone scale, you might pop up there, once, but if you've got this energetic it's kind of like those Rumikin cubes that one on top of the other, on top of the other, on top of the other, on top of the other. You got one step at a time. Yeah. Take off one outer layer so you can be closer to playing.
Yeah.
Willing to play, and willingness is key.
Maureen, did you come in business and feeling this way? And it's one of my transformations too. I like the layering of the feeling of play. I always thought that when I went on vacation, this would be a good example. When I went on vacation, I was like, oh, yay, I get to go on vacation. Oh, this is going to be so much fun. So I get there. Within 24 hours, I'm having fun. Okay, that's as much fun as I can have. Life is not like that. I should not be having that much fun. So the rest of my vacation, I would be anxious. I would feel like something was wrong. I thought, I've used up my play. Now all of a sudden play seems boring. It seems overwhelming. And my journey has been about, what does that mean? Like if I'm feeling bored, is it because I'm afraid to step into it? If in play is like a playful word, but it didn't feel play for me. I think I'm getting where you're going with this about the layers of play. And so with me acting like this, it's like, I think it's the next layer. Do you see that in your journey and as you're working and creating with people too? Do you see that sometimes it can be just different levels of play, and how we show up becomes something different and more magnified as we play and dance around these things that supposedly are supposed to be fun, but it can be the most painful thing to be part of?
Well, the interesting thing is too, is each one of us, since we are unique, there's the thing I'm most familiar with is the Enneagram, although I'm not overly familiar with that. But yeah, there's Enneagram, it's like a personality typing, but it's a little bit different. And it's 1 through 9. And so each one of us is a number on the Enneagram. So we have a natural motivation and a natural shadow, right? So for you, are you an 8 on the do you know your Enneagram number?
I don't even know what that is. Do you want to give a definition, or can we keep playing with this when you're looking at speaking about the Enneagram?
I'll put in afterwards, I'll put in the links, a place for people to go look at their Enneagram, but also I'll talk about myself.
Okay.
So I'm a 6 and a 2 and a 1. So the 1 and a 1 is right and wrong, like a Virgo. Virgos are do it a certain way, do it that way. So their natural motivation is with having things done a certain way in a certain timing, following a script. So their natural motivation in the worlds of the terms of right and wrong is when things do go right is what's going to turn them on. A 2 is they're a natural caretaker. So what's going to turn them on is when they're caretaking, when the people they're choosing to support are getting what they want. So what I'm saying for you is because your natural desire is play, you are naturally drawn to play because that's part of who you naturally are. So each different
question.
Go ahead.
I have a question. Okay, so I'm following this, but I wasn't always like this. Like when I was younger, when I was a kid, yeah, it was a natural thing because, I think that as we go along, the connection for me is I don't want to make those sales calls. I don't want to be falling asleep at my desk. I don't want to sit at my desk and not move. Sometimes I will because sometimes that helps me focus and hunker. So that's my connection of what I'm doing. Now, another thing I see, Maureen, is if I live my life like that, because I'm coaching, because I'm making sales calls. But what if in spirit and what you believe that I'm learning and our community is learning, like who Maureen is and your beliefs and what your purpose is here. We get to experience this in the 6-week journey with you, which I love. But what if I took out that control? So it was level 1, you said. So if it doesn't go A, B, C, D, how can somebody that's on the 1 scale you live as an entrepreneur or live in life, because not everybody follows those rules? But what if they can move into where they don't have to have the control? All of a sudden they're in spirit. They're out of fight and flight. They're out of here. And now they say, my connection is I want this to be a business, and I want to create something so precious that I can feel the spirits come. It's going to build business for me. But if I keep in that control, I feel that's my safety. But what if I just brought it up here and I said, okay, let the flow happen. And then all of a sudden they move from a 1, and all of a sudden it becomes more spirit. And spirit is going to come and be able to do what you do really good at. What if? Can we play with the what if, or am I opening something? And do you have some idea of where you want to go with this and play with me in this?
Well, what I'm hearing, first of all, thank you. I love you introducing what if questions. They're one of my go-to resources to build spaciousness. So a classic, and honestly, spirit's moving right now, so I'm going to get out of the way and let spirit talk.
Thank you, my friend.
When one is caught in a structure, a task list, a wanting to get somewhere because they think they're going to get something out of it, they may not be completely satisfied. That's the first clue. So the strength of a 1 on the Enneagram is that they get things done well and fast. And it's not a natural alignment with their soul if they're meant to know that they have no limit on what they can provide in the amount of time it takes. One of your viewers out there that's listening understands that for herself. So what we invite her into is the question, what if my strengths and attributes were let go? And I actually think that meant to say, what if my strengths and attributes were to let go? That's the surrendering.
Mm.
Now this is Mother Mary coming in. Whew. What we would like to impart to you today on this auspicious day on the calendar of 2020 is your environment has changed forever. Who you are as a being, a lover, a provider, a caretaker, is something to evaluate and be with without having to analyze anything. So were you willing to give up the thought, the structure, the what ifness to let freedom guide you? And when we say freedom, we mean the natural motion of the earth, combined with your individual hierarchy of what lights you up. That is truly being a sovereign being. That is what the 21st century is about. We understand we derailed your conversation, and it was important to get through the message that Maureen really has about life, which is no structure defines you, or life for that matter. And the natural motion of the universe always has your back, whether you know it or not, even when things aren't going right or well. So do what you are naturally guided to do. Sometimes you wake up in the morning feeling lethargic. It's okay to take time off. It's okay to put your phone on mute. It's okay to not look at Facebook. It's okay to be you, because that's all you got. That's what God, universe, source, creator put you here for, to be uniquely you and to express the inanimate object that your heart is dying for you to know and express in the world. So open your heart up, my friend, and whoever watches this. Breathe deeply into the soul of love itself and say, what is mine to do today? And then listen. Do that every day for a week and see how it changes your life. See if you wake up with more of a sparkle in your eye. See if you get new clients by just paying attention and listening instead of letting structure dominate your reality. That's a perfect example for people that are watching. You know what? We were in a structure, we were in a conversation, we were going somewhere, and sometimes what wants to happen has a mind of its own and a heart of its own and energy of its own. So to be willing to stop and put down the to-do list and do that nudge, that, like you said earlier, right? That person came to mind. When that person came to mind, be willing to pick up the phone and call that person, even when you have no idea why you're calling them. Just be curious. I had that happen with you. I had that happen with you and me. I was on, one of Katarina Rando's calls. I've been watching the Fresh Inspiration show for a year and a half. That day when I was in the same space with you, there was a lightness, and it's like, okay, it's time to talk. I don't know exactly why, but here we are.
Maureen, and we have more people coming in. I would love to know who's here. It's the way that I can create. Is that is it? It's about being with the call, and I use that word play. Before, it didn't feel like that. Life did not feel like that. But the freedom, which is connected with the universe, exactly that download you were getting, this is what moves. Flow and opening and knowing. That's why at the beginning of this discussion, it was about, well, I have a program at the end of January, and I'm supposed to pick up the phone, and I'm supposed to do my follow-up. It's like, oh my gosh. Oh. And then I just got so excited because I'm like, that doesn't mean anything to me. And so my kid sense came out, and I'm just like, I know that I was waiting for whatever flow is happening, Maureen. I could feel it. It was like, we're just right on the edge where I can feel, and that's the play. That's the feeling that when I would say, when I went on vacation, it was like, 24 hours of play, perfect, that's it, nothing else. That's not how life should be. That's not like these rules. And it's like, here, wait, I have rules. I have rules of like, get dressed in the morning, don't take care of yourself. But when it comes to connecting with people, I don't like to be talked to about, hey, I got this program. Do you want, this is what it's all about. It's like, oh, it just doesn't sound like fun. So thank you, my friend. You serve such a big purpose today. And we're only on 2 of 6. I love your downloads.
And what I want to tell you and the viewer is that the way you react to 24 hours is all the play I can have. That's what I help. First of all, the fact you were aware of that in the first place is magic. Lots of people don't even realize that. They just notice at the end of their vacation that they didn't have a great vacation. So the fact that you even were aware that 24 hours was all you could take is like, when somebody's already that aware, it's beautiful, it's gold. They're already living in being willing to be aware. And it's those kinds of things, those patterns that don't allow you to play full out, that we love working with people so that they don't have to live there anymore. They don't have to live in the box of, I only get to play for 24 hours.
In the hindsight, I can say that I was wrapped into it. I didn't understand what was going on. But that's why working with a mentor guide like you, that they get to have hindsight on it, and they get to lift it, and they get to discover. And that's why it's very difficult to be alone in this journey, in the spiritual journey, in the health journey, and the, waking up and being and whatever all this is flowing and discovery for everyone. Could you please share with how people can connect with you this week? Because you gave them a 7-day strategy of waking up, seeing how this shifts for them. So you'll want to be here next Monday so you can make that point of discovering how your week has been. How can they connect with you?
So commenting in this Facebook thread is a great way to do it. I'll be checking regularly throughout the vacation to see if people are commenting here.
Okay.
And my email is, you know what, for this week, the best way to get a hold of me if you want to reach out right away is my cell phone. So I invite you to, you're welcome to text me or call me, 650-280-4378. This is unique. This week is this week. MaureenXavier.com is my website, and there's a place there to set appointments. So if you're this week, reach out on via phone. And in the future, if you're watching this after the holidays, MaureenXavier.com. There's a list to opt into. There's a page with events. It's a chance to get to know me a little bit better, and we would set up a Zoom to connect. So we can see if we're, the infinity symbol. Are we a match?
Maureen had to use her phone today because her computer is just having some issues, but it was so cute because Maureen, you were excited. I love it. So thank you, my friend. I'll see everyone next week, same time. You see the flow? It's getting more and more insightful. So keep adding in. And I asked you to add in the string too. Any ideas, comments, keep coming back. Those questions that Maureen was going through is like seeds. I'm recognizing that all of a sudden you might wake up and feel a bigger smile than you did before. There's something about having somebody by your side, seeing you. Yes, I got you. And Maureen has ways for you to connect with her. Have an insightful afternoon, everyone. Maureen, thanks for giving to the community. It's precious.
My pleasure.
Namaste.